Welcome back, everybody. I thank you all for tuning in. We are in Albany, Minnesota, Albany Pioneer Days Show 2025, Allis-Chalmers feature this year. And as you can see, quite a lot of orange has already turned out. And I've already got a walk around for you. Although it's not an orange Allis, it's a green one. And it's in the feature building right over there. Let's go check it out. Right here, this green and red one. Now, the info tags is 1925, 1225, but I noticed the lettering on the back of the fenders say 1525. So, don't know if there's a typo up there or not, but very interesting tractors. So, operator station, pretty typical for back in the day. We've got the vertical spring post seat, suspension seat. Not a spinner knob, but they do have a spinner handle on the wheel. Transmission is 3 speeds. We have slow, slower, and backwards. This would be the clutch pedal right here with the stop and the go directional indicator on there, and this flat iron control is the brake. It doesn't have individual wheel brakes. It just goes and cinches the band around that drum, so it's more like a general transmission brake. And then over here, I have to believe we have throttle and possibly spark advance on those two. And then this interesting gauge right here, give you a better view of that. There are a number of graduations on there. That has to be an oil pressure gauge because it's fed by these two lines here and here, and they run forward to, I see one taps off from this tube down here, which jumpers over there. That has to be oil pressure. Looking at this side, it is a Wheeler-Schiebler carburetor. Now, brass era, super heavy duty. We have this rod here and this one here, so this has to be the choke right there. I don't know what this lever does. That control goes up to this mechanism right here, which feeds to just a little pull lever right there on the dash. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but we have the governor here, so that's going to be your governor case. Flyweights be spinning around in there. The lever comes out from that for the control, so this would have to be like a throttle plate in this little riser body right here. So I'm still not sure what that's for right there. That's kind of a mystery, but it's like a gasoline priming cup on the intake for starting. Interesting, neatly shaped water outlet manifold at the top, heavy cast iron valve cover, and what looks like perforated breather holes drilled in the side of the cover. Looking at it on the other side, neat raised Allis-Chalmers lettering in it. I'm used to like stamp steel valve covers, not heavy cast. Drip oiler on top of the governor. This may be where you add the engine oil right here. Then it feeds back to water pump right there. Dixie magneto here. And yeah, that's got to be your spark advance linkage. Comes down from the dash. Yep, changes your rotor plate down there. Exposed push rod tubes, kind of like the Cats. Cylinder jugs are cast in pairs, but it looks like one solid cylinder head. Very interesting mesh fan shroud on there, covering all that. This right here is neat. That's basically your air cleaner. There's a tag up here. We'll see if we can see it. It's not going to show up very well. Pretty dark, but that is the Taco Siphon air washer. And it's got to be like a water bath. From what I can tell, it's either water or oil, so you'd add the liquid right here. There's a sight glass on the side, tells you how full it is. And look at that heavy brass. It's basically like a sediment bowl. The Fordson tractors of the day had very similar heavy brass ones like that as well. Big steering gear in here, which is actually kind of an ahead of its time design, considering what the linkages used to be on these. And the rods are run conveniently out of the way. That'd be clutch access right there. This would probably be like a fluid level drain cock for the transmission. Around at the front, got some pretty heavy hubs in the middle of those wheels. Nice brass radiator cap. I noticed this. It looks like it was brazed on the side, and I couldn't figure out what it is. It has to be an overflow line for the radiator, and it would just go down behind the radiator side. Any extra would just vent out like that. Exhaust manifold, this is rather interesting. The way that pipe feeds back, and look at this. It just exhausts under the fender, right next to the rear wheel. So if the operator wasn't already eating enough dust, you've got some exhaust coming in to boot. But this is interesting here. These heavy cases towards the insides of the wheels. I know it's a bit dark in there. It looks like it has to be a final drive. So like your bowl pinion would come out here and then would be turning in here. So the main bowl gear then would have to be inside that case. And that's how they accomplished the drive. There's one on the other side as well. We can see this one a little bit better. That can't be an oil level plug, it's too high. It's an access plug for some sort of maintenance or repair, or possibly you rotated the wheel to a certain position and then that became your oil level check. It is hard to say. We'll work the rest of the way around to the back. Neat brass tag there up on the dash. Looks like we've got a toolbox right there ahead of the operator, and here's your swinging drawbar. Different holes for attaching implements at different heights. You would pull that pin and then it would swing along the width of the platform, and you can tell where it spent most of its time working by the wear right through there. So very interesting old tractor. Very, very well done. Really good look to it. Nice lugs on the wheels everywhere. Very, very nice machine. So hope you all enjoyed the walk around. Thanks again, everybody.